Hey everybody, so if you're just tuning in, my name is Maud Arnold. I'm super excited to present the first ever MAUDCAST. This is episode 1, and I have an incredible guest for you today. He is my brother. I'm going to pull him in for the first ever MAUDCAST. And if you saw, this is called The Real Happy Hour, and we are going to be talking everything happy and everything joyful. Because this dress makes me so happy. It's from London, and I was like, you know what? For my premiere episode of the MAUDCAST, I need to wear something that makes me feel good and feel happy. And have the orange behind me, and have my gold notebook, because I've got golden questions in here for Affion, golden joy tips for everybody. Affion!
What up, twin?
Thank you so much for joining me for the first ever MAUDCAST, The Real Happy Hour. So,
I hear you. I hear you playing on words.
You know, and you are my first ever guest, my first episode. I'm so honored to have you. And so I wanted to first tell everybody about how incredible and amazing you are, because we just get to see you, but some people don't know your incredible body of work. So everybody, Affion Crockett hails from North Carolina, but lived in Germany for a while. He's got Trinidadian roots. He is an actor, a comedian, a writer, a producer, a dancer, a rapper, and a music producer. Talk about slashes, Affion. How long is your resume?
You know, this is going to be a very honest answer. I don't know, because I don't spend a lot of time looking back. I really don't. Like, I do not, because the minute you start doing that, is almost an excuse to rest on your laurels and be like, oh, look at what I've done. Look at my accomplishments. And then when Lionel Jean said, DJ, oh yeah, Club Body Roll will be back tonight, 10 o'clock on Twitch. You already know what it is.
Oh yeah, and
yeah,
if you didn't know, guys,
I don't look back.
The king of quarantine.
One of the maximizers of quarantine. There's a few of us out here. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know how long my resume is, because unless I'm deliberately looking at IMDb or putting a resume together for a job or some, for a show or a film, I don't know. I'm blessed to be able to do what I'm doing, but I don't rest on that.
No, I love that. And the reason I wanted you to be my first guest, Affion, and it's so appropriate, and I'm so thankful, because
we're twins?
Well, one, we're twins, and two, during quarantine, you have brought so much joy into homes all over the world. And okay, so since this is the first episode, I'm going to explain you the format, because I've thought long and hard about this. Okay, Affion. So first thing, it's called The Real Happy Hour. And one thing we both have in common is that we don't drink. So first question is, what is your favorite drink?
Oh, I call it my elixir, my anti-inflammatory, anti-coronavirus, anti-everything. It's ginger root, turmeric root, cinnamon stick, and organic local honey tea. So I brew all of that. I chop up the root of the ginger. I put all of that in the kettle, and I let that brew for like 45 minutes on low. And really pull all of the properties out of all of the roots, the cinnamon. And by the time you put that honey in there, I use the honey too for my allergies. Like I use honey from near my house, so that it can, I can build up my tolerance to the pollen and all that shit. I'm really allergic to pollen. So if you ever heard me in an interview sniffling and shit, that's why I'm always sniffling.
No, and I was at the farmer's market by my house last week, and the guy who sells honey told me, if you have any allergies, you have to buy local honey, because that will help with the pollen allergies and all that. And it's delicious. And buy local.
And I have a bee farm right up the street from my house.
Oh, that's real fancy. I don't know anybody who lives around the corner from a bee farm, Affion.
I mean, it's cool to be me. What up, Zig Short? I see you, brother.
No, there's so many people here, so many friends. So Affion, I have a theme song. It's Modify. And my friend who composed and produced the theme song just came on, Ben Williams. He's a Grammy Award winning bass player. He's incredible. We went to high school together. And he made me this theme song for my birthday like 3 or 4 years ago. So when I tell you this is a dream come true, I've been wanting to do this for so many years and I just haven't pulled the trigger. And so I thank you for believing in me. So I picked a quote about joy that makes me think about how we met and how we were brought together. And then I picked a quote about you. And so the quote that I found about joy that brought us together is, joy is a net of love by which you can catch souls. And Mother Teresa said that. And so if anybody's wondering, a lot of people are asking if we're related. Affion and I are not blood related as far as we know, okay? But you know, black people. Affion and I actually became friends at a luggage turn.
No, at the gate.
Thing.
At the gate, waiting to
at
go.
The gate.
We're waiting to get on a plane to DC at LAX. Early morning flight. Early. Like 5 a.m., 6 a.m.
It was so early.
And I was like, who is this energetic ass girl just talking about, hey, we met before at a birthday party in LA, and you know my sister, and I was like, yeah, okay, I got you. And I'm standing up, but I'm like this, yeah.
And I'm like, so nice to see you again.
I'm absolutely like, yeah, good to see you. It was all a blur.
But when we landed in DC and I went over to say like, hey, we're waiting for our bags. Mm-hmm. You were like, oh, what are you doing here? I said, what are you doing here? I said, I'm from here. I was actually flying back home for a funeral. My mentor had suddenly passed away, and it was actually a really sad trip that I was taking back home. And I told Affion, and he said, well, I have a show in Baltimore this weekend. If you and your sister want to come, or any of your friends, please come. Please be my guest. And you know that was 5 years ago. This is our 5-year friend anniversary.
Wow.
And we happen to be twins. So since then, y'all, we've been affectionately known as twins.
And real fam too. Like,
yes.
A lot of people, especially in LA, right? LA is a town where you have friends for a season. Friends who, you know, call themselves friends, but they're really around you for an opportunity. And then you have those friends that actually become family who, if we're in town, we spend holidays together, we spend birthdays, quarantine, like we really rock with each other, and we really like support each other's business in every way. Like, I'm always rocking y'all hoodies, you know, we always connecting dots, like, yo, you should meet this person, and I know Felicia Horowitz through you guys, and y'all came to my stand-up special, front row, like y'all in line, you know what I mean?
Always. So, and I think that's what it's about. And that's why I'm so thankful to have friends like you here in LA, because you lived in LA before I lived here, and to have somebody who is truly a master of his craft, a master of the industry in your corner in a real way, is really rare, and I really appreciate it.
Likewise, for sure.
Which brings me to my next quote, which then we will get this interview started. I mean, it's very casual, but there are things that obviously I know you, and I know your spirit and your core, and you always bring so much joy into my life and so many other people's lives. And during this time, during coronavirus, you know, people of course are getting physically sick, but a lot of people are getting really, really depressed. And you bring a lot of joy to people, but I think it's important for people to know that it takes work to bring joy to yourself. So my quote for you is, we don't laugh because we are happy. We are happy because we laugh. And my question to you is, now we're going to go way back, childhood. Did you always know you were funny? And were you always making people laugh? Oh, wow. So how did you start? Because I knew you first were dancing mostly. So what was that? Please tell us about your dancing, and then that expansion into comedy and acting.
Yeah. most people do not believe me when I say this, but I'm an Army brat, right? I'm the second child. I got an older brother, 2 little sisters. So even within my household and my family dynamic, I was sometimes too young to participate in activities with my older brother, which you know how that goes. And then,
oh, I know.
And then because at the time I'm a boy, I can't do shit with my little sisters. I was babysitting them mostly, so I looked at them damn near as like my responsibility as opposed to like my partners, and we're gonna go learn how to do this and that together. And they were little girls. I was changing my baby sister's diapers, so
Wow.
I was the built-in babysitter, right? So within that, you got the family dynamic where I'm just kind of the odd one out. I'm in the middle. I don't have anyone to relate to. So TV became my magnet and my escape, right? My parents were young parents. They were always out partying. My brother was out partying. I was the built-in babysitter, right?
Wow.
So I had a lot of time to be introverted because I'm not having conversations with my sisters. I'm like, did y'all eat? All right, go to bed. Stop fighting.
Right.
Blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean?
Are y'all alive? Cool.
Facts. So on top of that, I'm an Army brat, and we moved around the world often. Like from North Carolina, Germany, we stayed in Trinidad briefly in transition. Like I was in and out of 14 different schools in my whole lifetime.
Wow, that's
so I'm naturally a shy person. People don't realize that about me. I'm shy as fuck. I'm introverted as fuck. Oh, sorry, I'm cussing. I know you got kids. I'm very shy.
Kids, don't be saying these words back, okay?
Sorry, kids. I'm also blue. Look, Eddie Murphy. So it's very key that I have Eddie Murphy on my wall, right? Mm-hmm. Eddie Murphy was the first person I looked at and looked up to as like, man, this dude, he's hilarious. He's like a strong black man. Like he's sure of himself. In 48 hours, he could fight. He could wise talk his way out of anything.
Yes.
Delirious was a hilarious stand-up special. And it was the first, like, I wanted to be like Eddie Murphy, but I didn't know that translated into I was going to become an actor. I just wanted to be strong and, the man that could talk his way out of anything. I wanted to be like this guy because he was so cool.
Right.
So I didn't know I was funny. I was always introverted. I was bullied in some instances in school. And the only person that I would make laugh, that I would feel comfortable doing anything around, was my mother. So it came about accidentally. We'd be watching TV at night, those nights when my mom would be up and she and I'd be drinking coffee or something. And we'd be watching Benny Hill or Eddie Murphy on SNL. We'd be watching all these different comedy shows, and I would imitate voices from these shows, and my mom would hear me do it, and it sounded so much like the people, she would start laughing really hard. So then I was like, oh, now I know I can make my mom laugh. And that became the thing. Because, your mom, the way we moved around, my mom went through her own depressions, and she was detached from her family in Trinidad for the first time. And so as a child, you could feel that depression.
Absolutely.
And then knowing that I had a small tool that can make her laugh and come out of that for a second, it became motivation for me.
That's amazing, because that gave you a sense of power in that relationship where you could control the narrative and control the feelings with your mom, because it's really hard when you have a parent who's depressed because you feel powerless.
Yeah, hold on one second. Sorry.
Amazing. No worries.
Had to get my light right.
Oh, boo, you gotta get your light right. Okay, twin. Get your light
right. Gotta get the light right.
Gotta get the light right. But on a serious note, that's amazing, because comedy was so powerful.
For sure. And I saw
and comedy is so powerful.
And tidbit, this is trivia. My mother was the first person to ever say, "You're going to be a comedian." She was mid-laugh. And I was doing some shit. We were watching on the TV. Oh, sorry, I'm cussing again.
It's okay.
Some character. you know how we get out.
I know. And by students, I tell them I have adult time and I have teacher time.
But
this
no, I'm
is
gonna
the mix
respect
in
the
between.
kids. I love the kids. But no, me and my mother were watching something on TV, and I think I was doing a British accent to her, and I just kept doing it, and she was like slapping her knee, laughing, and wheezing, like, and she said, "You're gonna be a comedian," and I'm like 8 years old. I never registered that to be like, yeah, I'm like, yeah, right. That's a comedian. Like, he's a rock star. It's unattainable. In my 8-year-old mind, I'm like, yeah, whatever, Mom. I'm just making you laugh right now so that I don't get my butt whooped for something I did,
Hello.
earlier today. So yeah, my mom was the first person to utter those words. She spoke it over me, and I don't think she understands what that did.
Moms know, and I think that's also just like the power of words and the power of belief in young people. Also, friends, Affion has supported the Chloe and Maud Foundation in tremendous ways and supported young people that we work with. And it's like that one action or that one little piece of advice or that one affirmation literally can change your entire trajectory of your life. Because if she was like, "You're not funny, you'll never," we probably wouldn't be sitting here right now.
But here's key, because I got to tell the whole story. Oh yeah, I also used to love to sing around the house. And my mom used to hate on it. She'd be like, "Don't sing. Stick to dancing. Stick to this or that. You're good at those things, but singing, you sound horrible." So I didn't think anything of it. I was just like, "Oh, I'm just not good at singing," right? Mm-hmm. Until I got to middle school, and I'd just be walking around in my element in the hallway singing the song I heard on the radio. I just love to sing. That was just my thing. And the girls would be like, "Oh, you could sing." And I was like,
"You're like, oh, you can sing, Affion."
I was like, "No, I can't. My mama told me I can't sing. You liar." So I'm bringing that up to say the power of words works either way.
Totally.
So now I'm doing songs. I'm recording songs. I have an album coming out, and I'm singing some, but I'm way more hesitant when I sing, because now I'm just like, all right, I'm just gonna put it out there and try it. Mm-hmm. I'm a confident rapper because I know I can do that since I was a kid. But singing, because of the words that my mom spoke to me as a kid, I still have hesitation and fear, and I'm like, my voice, I don't know.
I mean, somebody just said I look like Affion with a wig.
No, I see that. I mean, look, we've heard all the jokes and we've created them ourselves. She is my little sister with my face.
Exactly. And I love it. I love that sometimes when I go places in LA or even when I go back home to DC, people are like, "I had no idea that Affion Crockett was your brother. Oh my God." And I'm like, family. I'm like,
it is what it is, right?
Talent runs in the family. Positivity runs in the family.
Oh, let me shout out Chloe too. She's commenting away, and
oh yeah,
big sis.
Hey Chloe.
What up,
Thanks
Chloe?
For being supportive in my MAUDCAST dreams and journey. Mm-hmm. So Affion, so when was the first time you actually did stand up?
That was in '94. At the Comedy Zone in Charlotte. So the story of that was I watched Def Comedy Jam when I was in school. And
classic. Shout out Stan Lathan.
Shout out to Stan Lathan. Shout out to Bob Sumner. Shout out to Russell Simmons, Kid Capri, Martin Lawrence.
Oh yes.
Those were the five.
DC's own, by the way.
Exactly. Martin is definitely DC's own. He inspired Chappelle and Tony Woods and all these other guys. Such a huge show. Mm-hmm. A whole new wave of comedians post In Living Color, right?
In historical.
historic. And so I'm watching this show, and for the first time, comedy doesn't look like rock star. It looks attainable because it's hip hop, it's rap, it's dance. Now it's like, oh shit, these are people that look like me, sound like me. Chris Tucker, Bill Bellamy, you know what I mean? Like it was Tone X. Like
and they're closer to your age.
Exactly, some of them. I mean, Bernie Mac, Steve Harvey, and them are older, but closer to my age. And I'm seeing my environment played out on TV in different ways. I grew up. I'm a hip hop head. I'm a dancer. I'm a rapper. I watch Crush Groove. I know who Russell Simmons is. I know Kid Capri. I know all of these people. And I knew who Martin Lawrence was from House Party. So I'm just gassed off of this show. And like I said, before Def Comedy Jam, stand-up comedy either looked like rock star Eddie Murphy or the evening at the Improv show that would come on, like, I think every week at night, at midnight. And it was just, this boring ass, I call it Oxford comedy. These white dudes had the patches on their elbows and the tweed jacket and shit. It was like, it was cool. Like, they were funny, but it wasn't something that I was like. Not
inspiring.
I didn't want to say, I want to do that. Def Comedy Jam brought all of the worlds together. And when I saw Cool Bubba Ice, one of my big homies, he went on and did all impressions. And he had on this wild ass Busta Rhymes looking suit. So he looked animated and he could do voices. I'm a dancer.
That's amazing.
I'm a dancer.
You are one of the most physical comedians I have ever seen. It's amazing. And I'm always like, Affion must be exhausted after these shows. And you like, when you're touring, you have 3 shows a night. And I'm like, Affion done rolled there, did this, did some breakdancing. Like, it's incredible.
It's a whole situation. Like, but it's all from my dance background. And salute to Jim Carrey. He was one of the most, him and Martin were the 2 most big influence on my physical comedy out of anybody else. Like, I'll say that right away. Like, I directly borrowed from the 2 of those guys, and
I love it.
It is what it is. Credit where credit is due.
But I think that's what inspiration is. It's like, that's why, it's because of them that we take that inspiration. And then that's also how those people live on forever. Because like Zyla's on this chat, she's 9 years old. She doesn't necessarily know who Martin Lawrence is, but she knows who Affion Crockett is, and you're keeping his legacy alive. So I think that they're just as appreciative for the inspiration utilizing as you are for the inspiration.
And the fact that Martin was live in the audience at my stand-up special, that's what I do it for. It's full circle. That was like, to have that support, to have him come backstage right after and be like, yo, you did it. You did it the right way. You hit all the right buttons. Like, that's God. That's the full circle moment of why we do what we do.
No, it's incredible. And for anybody who doesn't know and didn't see it on Affion's page, he produced and executive produced and wrote entirely his own stand-up special. And you can watch the trailer.
I'm going to repost it, but yeah, it's on my page.
Kids, ask your parents. But this special is incredible. And Chloe and I went. It was a whole group of us. Sharona, Lee, me, Chloe. And we were so loud. And we were so proud. And that's the thing is, it's like, it's the best feeling to be inspired by your friends, to be proud of your friends. And we felt so much joy and so much energy. And it's not like it was like 2 p.m. in the day. It's late at night. And you leave. When you leave an Affion Crockett show, you feel like, what's next? Now I want to do something. Now, you just feel that energy. You feel that goodness. It truly resonates, which I think is super special, because I think you can go to certain shows or certain comedy shows and you're like, haha, you laugh. And then you leave and you're like, all right, what are we going to eat? Like, on to the next. And we try to pretend to be Maya Angelou all the time because of you. And we're like, and hello, and we can't do it.
Well, salute to y'all, because one of the most popular impressions during quarantine that has become the instant favorite is Maya Angelou. And I'm talking about everyone from Angie Martinez has asked me to do it. Like, everyone loves Maya, but it came about because I was on the phone with you and your sister Chloe one night, and y'all mentioned, I don't know who mentioned Maya, and I heard her voice in my head, and I just started trying it, and y'all were hollering, laughing.
No, I mean, I don't want to put you on the spot, and this is what you do for a living, you get paid. But if you feel like doing,
I'm not gonna do it right now, but
you guys, his Maya Angelou is one of the funniest. You just did it. I saw you do it with somebody.
Me and Godfrey.
It was Godfrey. Okay.
Yeah.
Affion did Maya and Godfrey did James Baldwin. Now talk about legacy, because what y'all were talking about was both hysterical, but also super, super true and relevant to the time. And again, a lot of people don't know who James Baldwin is, don't know who Maya Angelou is. And then your comedy will make them Google it, and then they'll know her legacy will continue to live on forever, forever. And again, that's the power of comedy, because it engages, but then it also inspires the further research, the further comedy. Because it also makes it that much funnier when you know, because when you do Maya Angelou, Affion, like I literally see her like sitting and drinking tea and like talking to Oprah or something, because it's just so on.
And that's the voice that I lean on. Is I've watched her and Oprah talk so many times in like masterclass. So it's the older, wiser, elegant Maya. You know what I mean?
Yes.
But yeah, it's and then the thing about Godfrey, and it's always great to recognize people who you can match wits with on the same level. Because Godfrey woke, I'm woke, we're both passionate about Black power and Black pride in our people. So when we doing these characters, the real conversation is coming out. He's really talking like what James Baldwin would say. I'm really talking about what, as in Maya's voice, and what she would say about the state of the world and our community. So it's a journey, but like you said, it all leads back to legacy and research.
It really is. I know. I mean, it's incredible because, without that, those legacies die. And you make it so accessible and attainable, so you can be 15 or you could be 65, and it's all the same, because it's like, this is funny, so I'm engaged, and now I'm learning. I also have to shout out, one of my favorites is Eric Badu. You guys, Affion does verses after the verses challenges, after the musical verses. Affion and Spice Adams do their reenactment of said verses. Now, Eric Badu, and I saw Erica Badu shared one of your videos this week or last week, which is incredible.
Yeah, this week, yeah.
Now, I have a question. What brings you the most joy about what you do?
Feeling good. Because it makes me feel good. It's to, especially when me and Spice are doing the verses reenactments, that's probably the biggest audience we both get, because they know after verses,
It's
tune
hilarious.
in to either one of their channels and it's about to go down, right? To see, like, we're not on stage right now, we're in quarantine, so I'm not, I don't have the luxury of being on stage and being able to make people laugh, but to see a whole ocean of comments and all you see are yellow faces with the tear eye emoji. To see that shit, to see it just scrolling and scrolling and scrolling the whole time. That, for me, that's the best feeling, knowing that everybody that's watching is feeling a way about how stupid we are being. And me and Spice just keep pushing the envelope to just be dumber and dumber.
No, it truly, I mean, like, I don't even know also, you guys are Mary Poppins, because I also don't understand how you guys have so many props in your house. He has an old Dell computer thing. You have every outfit that every artist has worn. You have literally, I'm like, what did Affion go to like Party City before quarantine? It was like, just in case. But what's amazing is that it does feel so authentic. And because it is in your homes, it's like you're inviting us into your living rooms,
Yeah.
which is an incredible feeling because you are, just like Martin Lawrence is your hero, you are a hero to so many others. And for them to be able to feel like they have that connection really saves lives during times like this. And so that's why joy for me is so important. As you know, I am joyful all the time.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
and
As
it's
you
a,
are.
and it's a natural, I'm very thankful. Like sometimes my mom says, like, I don't know, but you've always been like this. And people have known me since I was 5 years old. It was like, Maud has always been like this. My mom had to put me on one of those child leashes because I would go talk to strangers and, how are you doing? I'm Maud. What's your name? You know, like I've always loved people, and people don't realize or value the importance of joy in their lives. So I want to thank you. And so we're going to end this, Affion, with a fire round of questions. Okay.
All right.
So I'm going to ask you questions, and what brings you the most joy in each category? Fire questions. So what's a song that always brings you joy?
I'm Black and I'm Proud, James Brown.
I love it. Who is a person that always makes you feel joy?
My nephew.
Oh my God, I love him. Me too. He's so cute.
All of my nephews.
He is just the cutest. I'm obsessed. What is an action that always inspires joy in you?
People showing compassion to others.
Oh, I love that.
In any form.
I love that, because you know what? A lot of people don't do that.
Yeah.
What's a food that brings you joy?
What's a what?
A food.
Red velvet anything.
I should have known. I had red velvet cupcake. Don't say that to my brother, but I had a red velvet.
Yeah, don't say it to Tadeo.
Don't say it, but I had a red. But what were you gonna say when you see what?
Oh, I was saying, it gives me a lot of joy when I see someone just lend a hand to somebody, like hold the door open for an old lady, or, you know, if a dude is carrying something, another dude that don't even know him is like, yo, let me help you with that, bro. Like that's, to me, that's humanity. I love humanity, and to see it displayed, that brings me a lot of joy.
And what is a place that brings you joy?
The beach. The ocean.
Same.
An island. You put me on an island, the beach, ocean. I see the waves, the water, the sun, the sand. It's a wrap. Just as long as I got food and some red velvet cookies or cupcakes, some burgers. I love barbecue. Yeah, all that.
I love it. And what is a piece of advice that you would lend to all of our listeners and watchers of how to find joy every day in their lives?
Do the things that you love. We all love certain things. So to have perpetual joy, you have to lock in and give yourself permission, for one, to like things and to acknowledge that you like things. I like going for walks. I like to watch TV. I like to write. I like to read. I like to dance. I love to dance. So whatever your like or love is, focus more on that. Don't focus on what you don't like, because then you'll have more of that. Focus on the things you like. I like to go get ice cream. I like to go for a drive. I like to blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? I like to climb trees. Whatever your like is, chances are your joy is going to be closer to you after participating in that and keeping that rhythm of those joyful activities in your life.
I love that, Affion. Well, I just have to say thank you again so much. You brought me so much joy today, and I'm so lucky because I get to call you a friend, a brother, my twin, and so I get to
your
feel
comedy
that joy
coach
all the time. But I wanted to share that with some people that maybe don't know the inner workings of what you do, because you feel what you do feels so good because it comes from such a real place. Like, you're not logging off Instagram like, I hate this, I hate my life. You're logging off like, that was so fun, this was so great. And I just want to say that it's rare, it's amazing, it's appreciated. And because I'm a dancer and you're a dancer, everybody. Thank you for joining the first ever MAUDCAST. Give it up for my first amazing guest, the incredible Affion Crockett. Make sure you guys support his special. Make sure you follow him on Instagram. Club Body Roll tonight for the good music. Always positive vibes. If you're having a bad day, a sad day, an uninspired day, I promise you, if you go to his page, your day will brighten.
Pull up.
Thank you, Affion.
Thank you, Marty Poo.
Love you.
Love you too. Holla.